Morning! It's the longest day of the year. Welcome along, 9 o'clock Frundy. Frundy. Now that could be a new day, couldn't it? A Frunday. Every day is a fun day when you're here at United Kingdom Talk, dear. Fun, fun, fun all the way. Yes, it's Friday, the 21st of June 2019. Welcome along to United Kingdom Talk, coming to you from Bracknell here in Royal Berkshire, boys and girls, on the longest day of the year. The sun doesn't even go down today. It just comes down, right down, and beep, and it goes back up again. It doesn't get dark. Well, it does get a little bit dark here. But like I said to you on previous shows, it certainly gets darker down here than it does when I'm out in Lincolnshire. I noticed last week, the week before, the week we've just had, so the week before, at 10 o'clock night, you can still see the blue glow in the sky outside my caravan, which is it's nice. It's nice to have long days. Some parts of the world, they don't have nighttime at all, do they? Is it places like Iceland and I think Norway? I mean, it must get a bit more dim, I would imagine. It wouldn't be the same as 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I would imagine. But I'd like to go somewhere, I think, where you see the midnight sun. And I've seen pictures of it where it comes down low in the sky and goes kind of a darker orangey red colour, but it doesn't actually set and then it comes back up again. I'd like to go somewhere like that. You'd have to have good curtains, wouldn't you? You'd never be able to go to sleep. Well, morning. There is a good weather forecast, as it happens. Some parts of the UK better than others, but nevertheless, generally it's pretty good. In all the papers this morning, this one's from the Daily Mail. Britain could see its hottest June day on record. Well, I thought that was last year. We had the hottest days. The hottest June day on record in the Daily Mirror as a Spanish plume. That's what we had last year, wasn't it? A Spanish plume, which didn't go away for about 3 months. Anyway, a Spanish plume is hitting the country, bringing temperatures of 34 degrees centigrade, which is in Fahrenheit, that's about 30, 34, 68, 78, 88, 98, 126, which is about 419 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, I can do all the I'm very good at maths. I do all the conversions in my head, believe me. It's going to be 34 degrees, which is about, what did I say? About 376 degrees Fahrenheit next week here in the UK. Why go anywhere else? You don't need to go to any of these countries having to get foreign money, dear. Or could I have a cup of tea? Okay. Oh, a cup of tea, please. But I don't understand. Well, a cup of tea. You can't get a cup of tea anywhere decent. Stay in the UK. No need to add to the climate problems of the world by flying on a little plane, and chucking out even more emissions into the atmosphere. You'll upset the climate people. They were upset last night. I'll come to that in a minute. Parts of Britain look set to bake in the heat, although it may be ruined by thunderstorms. Should have a sound effect for that. So, thunderstorms, which are expected this weekend and next weekend. The Met Office has issued a yellow warning. Warning. Mass warning. A yellow alert for Sunday and Monday and for nearly the whole of England apart from the southwest and all of Wales. What is that to do with the thunderstorms or the hot weather? Don't say. Oh. Forecasters think thunderstorms will batter. Do like a good battering, don't you? They will batter the... Some people would pay for that, They go to people and they say, please, would you batter me? I'll give you £100. Oh, yes, dear. I've heard that very strange and mysterious people, dear. Forecasters think thunderstorms will batter the UK on both days with a chance of flooding, hail and strong winds, although temperatures will reach the mid-20s in some places. And it's looking very good. The big red... I'm looking at a map now. There's a big red patch on the map which stretches in the east from Norwich over to the west, a little bit further than Birmingham, and right down to Southampton and up as far as almost Liverpool. Or York, if you want to come a bit further into the middle. It's a very, very large patch, dear. Very large patch. So that's good news, isn't it? It says, however, things will pick up on Tuesday as a heat wave hits the UK, with the country set to enjoy the hottest days of the year so far. So there we are. Some nice weather coming through at last. You know, this time, as I say, this time last year, we were in the heat wave, which went on for 3 months, which I miss. I do miss that. Right, let's say hello to people this morning. Good morning to Adam the Plumber. First message in of the day to Adam the Plumber. Good morning, Adam. Morning, Adam. Dr. SOS Gregorian is in the house. Oh, he always shares my... You're very kind, Mr. Gregorian. Always shares my posts to the wall. Whenever there's a show on, Dr. SOS Gregorian cut and pastes the URL thing and posts it onto his wall. You're very, very kind, dear. Thank you very much. 1 or 2 of you do that. It's most appreciated. I never ask. I know there's people up... Generally, they put, oh, please cut and paste that I'm raising money for dead cats in the Sudan or something like that, don't they? You know... I never ever ask people to, and please copy and paste. I never ask people to do that. So those of you that do, thank you very much. All right. Morning to Matthew Van. Good morning, Matthew. Welcome to the show. Adam is very pleased he has reclaimed his top spot. I didn't know you had a spot on your top, darling. Perhaps a little bit of cream might help on there. Reclaim your top. I thought you always were a top, Adam, from what I've heard from various different people all across London. Morning, Adam. Hello to Mike Rees-Ponto. A very good Friday morning to you, Mike. I'm so happy Mike has managed to get on the messaging system. About a week ago, he changed some of his settings and he managed to get his messages in now. Some of you were complaining about, by the way, not being able to see photographs on Facebook this week, and I've got some news for you on that. It's not what you think it is. I've got some news coming up for you on that, okay? Gustav. Good morning, Gustav. I wondered where you were, Gustav. You know, I thought you might be dead. Unfortunately not. You are still there. But welcome back to the show. I hope you have a few more days of living, my dear. Good morning to Gustav. I haven't seen you at all. Where have you been? Where have you been, you and your funny clothes? He buys all these fashion stuff. You know, hundreds of pounds this stuff costs that he wears. And it all looks really odd. You know, when you watch those fashion shows... You see them sometimes on the television, women and men, and they come along that long stage, the catwalk, and you think, why would anyone buy that? Well, he wears that stuff. He wears those odd clothes. Don't ask me why. Oh, why is... Just a minute, let me just close a video down there. So annoying that is. The Daily Mail is the worst one. You know, when you've got the Daily Mail picture up and videos keep flashing up on the screen. It's most annoying. 16 degrees in Horsham at the moment. 16 degrees in Horsham centigrade. So that's about 120 degrees Fahrenheit at the moment in Horsham, where Adam is. Have a nice day, Adam. Morning to Joanna. They're on the YouTube. Morning, Joanna. Michael Pullman's there in Australia. Hello, Michael. John Aitken. Yes, it's the longest day. I've already mentioned that, John. You obviously missed that, dear. You know, you're never there at the beginning of the show, John, are you, dear? We've done it. You know, my opening sentence was, welcome to the longest day of the year. I'm surprised I can even remember that. Usually memory is gone, you know. Early set dementia, possibly. I don't know. Usually by this time, I've completely forgotten what I said at the beginning of the show, let alone actually remembering that a show started or that I've got up this morning. Don't remember anything. What's going on? Tommy Flynn, why are you not in Lincolnshire? Tommy, there's another one. He's come in on the Friday show. What happened to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, Tommy? If you would have been here on those days, you would know why I'm not in Lincolnshire. Very, very disappointed. Just a moment. You would know why I'm not in Lincolnshire. Very, very disappointed with you, Tommy. Very, very, very disappointed in you, Tommy. These people say that they're fans, honestly. They just turn up when they want to, you know. Very disappointing. Morning to Stuart Skinner, who's going to celebrate the 21st. I'm going to watch an open-air performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream. Oh, is that Shakespeare? Oh, no, I can't bear Shakespeare stuff. I don't understand it. I don't understand. I never understood it at school. We had to read all these awful Shakespeare books, and always on the telly, oh, what a great writer he was, Romeo and Juliet, Midsummer Night's Dream, all this. I pick up the book, I ain't got a clue what's going on. It's like trying to learn German or Chinese or French or something. I have no interest in Shakespeare at all. We don't know what's going on. Years ago, I bought a DVD because they'd filmed Romeo and Juliet. They'd made it into a film. Yeah, a little while later, it came out on the DVD. I thought, oh, well, this would be good. You know, they'll obviously have, shall we say, modern Englishified the thing, and I'll be able to watch this. I'll put it on, and it's all in that stupid Shakespearean language again. I don't know why people go on about that, how wonderful Shakespeare was. Well, he might have been at the time, but I don't understand what he's writing now. Do I look like an intelligent person who understands English literature? No. I mean, give me an Enid Blyton book any day of the week. Or someone like that. Can't understand Shakespeare. Well, good luck with that. Are you taking an interpreter with you, Stuart? Oh, yeah. What's he say? What's he say? Oh, dear. Hope there are no evening thunderstorms over here in good old Germany. I like the German national anthem, I must say. Da, 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 da. Oh, no, that's the Russian one. What is it? How's the German one go again? Da, 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 da. No. Oh, I can't remember now. I know they used the same tune in a Catholic hymn for benediction, the Tantum Ego. You'll know that one, Tommy. Tantum Ego Sacramento. No, that's not the one. Da, 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 da. Is it? No, that's the Salutaris. Oh, I can't remember. I like the music to the German national anthem. Very powerful. I hope you enjoy your show there, okay? Morning to Diane Jebb. A very good morning to Mr. Ray Reynolds. He's on his way to Southend on the train. Woo, woo. Although they don't do that anymore. They're pretty silent trains, aren't they? Did you see that hydrogen train yesterday on the news? Yeah, they've got a new hydrogen train. Just one that they're trying out. To replace the diesel, because some of those diesel trains are pretty smelly, aren't they? So that's a good thing, I suppose. Hydrogen cars, that really hasn't happened, has it? We thought that was going to happen, and I mean, they're still trying things out. I know that to go along to complement, I suppose, electric ones, but haven't got round to that yet. Good morning to Carl Hewer. Welcome to the show, Carl. Gustav says he is very much alive. Well, that's a matter of opinion, dear. I've seen you standing at the bar. That is a matter of opinion whether you are still alive or not. He says, unlike your career. What's wrong with my career? Here I am, sitting, chatting away every morning. Nothing wrong with my career, dear. Nice karaoke jobs, tiny little bit of hosting as well. As for clothes, what the hell are you wearing? Polyester? Yeah, it is actually. It is polyester. Can you tell? Would you like to feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Da, 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 da. Michael Jackson, the world's greatest ever singer, after Barry Manilow, of course. Michael Jackson, boys and girls. I never went to Neverland. How disappointing. John Aitken is a very, very busy man. Well, so am I. I'm not too busy to come here and talk to you. I've made the effort. This morning I was up at 20 to 8 preparing for this bastion of British entertainment. I really was. He's been changing the bed. Actually, I've got to change my bed this morning. I meant to do that before I came into the studio, actually, to put the washing in, but never mind, I'll do it afterwards. Morning to Claire. Good morning, Claire. Hello, the gorgeous LaBelle, your emerald-eyed disco ball of love. That's me. A disco ball. It is turning today. Sometimes I forget to plug that in. It's only on a plug down there. You think I'm sitting here and it's all posh, and no, it ain't. This is a tiny little room. Ray Reynolds has been here in this room doing a show with me. John is also a not Shakespeare fan either. I don't get it. Neither do I, John. They go on and on about how wonderful it is, don't they? I don't get it. All these so-called lovies, the thespians. Oh, Shakespeare. Oh, greatest author of all time. No, it wasn't. Enid Blyton was. Enid Blyton was the best author of all time. 5 Go Hunting or The Secret Seven. Do you remember the Secret Seven books? That was great. They were great. They were. I loved them. Pick up the Romeo and Juliet and all that business. Oh no, dear. Keep it, please. Claire, you don't have to understand the Shakespeare language if the actors are really good. Well, they obviously weren't on the film then because I couldn't understand what was going on. I think it was Romeo and Juliet. Morning to Joanna. Good morning. Roald Dahl was my favourite author. Loved his books. Oh, yes. James and the Giant Peach. I think that was turned into a film, wasn't it? And the Roald Dahl books were very, very good for children. Good morning to Colin, who has reached today the grand old age of 71 years old. Happy birthday, Colin. Oh, the grand old Duke of York, come marching out and marching out to the top of the hill, and he's marching out again. Good morning, Colin. Happy birthday to you. 71. It does go very quickly, doesn't it? The years go very, very quickly, my friend. Good morning to you, Todd. Likes the jacket. Thank you. See, Gustav, you, Todd, loves my polyester jacket. Thank you very much. Hello to Roy's the boy. Morning to Roy. Peter Lake in the house. A very good morning, Peter Lake from Woodall Spa. And Claire was an Enid Blyton fan as well. Mallory Towers. I don't know Mallory Towers. Is that something I should get? Mallory Towers. Don't seem to have time to read anymore. Do many of you read books? I don't think many people read books anymore. I don't seem to have the patience to read books, really, for some reason. Last book I read was about 2 years ago, which I enjoyed, but still not really much patience to read books. I usually wait for the film to come out. It's lazy, isn't it, really? You pick up a lot of good words from books and things like that. So yesterday... I just wanted to comment. We were talking about the weather. So there's a story I saw on the BBC News this morning. It had the nice man at Naga was on this morning. She was a bit calm this morning. Naga was on the BBC weather this morning. The BBC breakfast time this morning. And the bloke I like doing the weather was on this morning, who always seems quite happy. I don't know if he's got a slight Scottish accent or not. It doesn't matter anyway. Can't remember his name. But this morning's weather, because they go in a different place, he was on the Shetland Islands. Oh my God, the scenery there, dear. And there was puffins. There was little puffins walking around in the background. How lovely. Did anyone see that this morning? Beautiful. I would like to go to Shetland. I would like to go to the Shetland Islands. There's all sorts of places I'd like to go to, mainly in the UK. We're supposed to be going back to Cyprus towards the end of the year sometimes to go and visit my niece again, because I think she gets a little bit lonely. She's kind of on her own now. I suppose people make friends and that, but it's not the same as family, is it really? You know? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, says John. Love it. That was my favourite book when I was young. I must have read it 100 times. Is that right? Wow. I like the films as well. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I prefer the older film rather than the one with what's his name? You know, the Edward Scissorhands bloke. I thought it was very good, but I prefer the older thing. It's probably an age thing, I suppose, isn't it? Morning to Adrian Richardson, joining us very late this morning. Claire was a girls' boarding school, so I'd give that a lot. It was about a girls' boarding school, so I'd give that lot a miss, Chris. Oh, what, the Mallory Towers thing? Well, I don't know. It might be interesting. Girls' boarding school. Don't know what goes on there. Anyway, in the news this morning, don't know if you saw it, but they had some sort of MP's dinner that was going on this morning. The annual Mansion House dinner. Activists went in and disrupted Chancellor Philip Hammond's speech. So, there was cameras in there filming this, doing this event, some sort of big dinner. I'll be honest with you, I'm not quite sure what the whole dinner was about, but nevertheless, there's all these important people in there having a dinner. Philip Hammond's come up and doing his speech, and this group of climate protesters got in. Okay, and started going in, handing out leaflets and things like that. And one of the blokes, Foreign Minister, it says in the Daily Mail, Foreign Office Minister Mark Field is facing calls to resign after he was filmed forcibly removing a climate change protester from a dinner from City Grandees last night. Now, I've seen the video, and basically this person, which happens to be a woman, was walking around, and he's grabbed her by the back of the neck, like that, and pushed her forcibly out of the thing. And of course, they're all on the telly this morning saying, oh, it's disgusting how someone should be pushed around like that, this, that, and the other. It says protesters wearing red dresses stormed. Were they all women? I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. It looks like they were all women from the story. Protesters wearing red dresses stormed the annual Bankers and Merchants dinner at Mansion House as Chancellor Philip Hammond delivered a speech on the state of the UK politics. And then it shows what happened. Now, this is in the Daily Mail. It is in the Daily Mail if you want to look at it. And if you watch it, then I'll be honest, he did handle her quite roughly. He grabbed her by the arm. I'm watching it now. He's grabbed her by the arm, then pushed her round, and he's holding her by the back of the neck and he's pushing her out. And they're all screaming and moaning now that he should be sacked for such offence. All I will say is, what if she had had a bomb in her bag, or a knife, or a gun, or something like that? Then it would have been very, very different. Would have been very, very different. He would have been stabbed, I suppose, or she could have got to someone else. Do you see what I mean? I don't have a problem with what he did then. I really don't. I think it's awful. We had, years ago, you may remember when Tony Blair was Prime Minister, I think it was, and someone got into the gallery in the Houses of Parliament and threw white powder down. Now, white powder could be anything. It could be flour, or it could be anthrax. Anthrax is a deadly thing. You breathe in a little bit and you're dead. Simple as that. And I personally think that he did the right thing trying to chuck her out like that. By whatever method. By whatever method you want. You know, I don't understand. You're all the left is screaming and shouting, oh, he shouldn't do that to someone. You can't treat people like that. Well, hang on a minute. They shouldn't have been there in the first place. It's a bit like burglars coming in your house. Now, in America, I gather, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, if you catch a burglar in your house and shoot them dead, it's not your problem. Not over in this country. If a burglar gets in, we're always hearing these stories of if a burglar gets in your house and even if you're not in there and they trip over something and hurt themselves, then I've heard stories of them taking to people for court and suing them for not keeping the house safe. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I think absolutely he did the right thing chucking that woman out. Could have been a bloke, doesn't matter. Just a person. In fact, it was a woman, neither here nor there. Could have been anyone coming in there and she could have had anything in that handbag. You know, anthrax powder, which I just mentioned. You know, that they chucked at Tony Blair. You know, I mean, the whole Joe Brand thing at the moment, when she was going on about that bloke who chucked a milkshake over Nigel Farage, wasn't it? Now, whether or not I'm not keen on Jeremy Corbyn, but I wouldn't go round and chuck a milkshake over him. I'd just walk away. No, don't want to know you. Bye-bye, and walk off. It's all these people that feel that they need to do something. That milkshake could indeed, as Joe Brand said, could have, although she made a joke out of it, which I personally think was a joke. I think it was a joke. Should she have said it? It was just a joke. It was just a joke. But nevertheless, she was quite right, perhaps, to point out within her joke that that milkshake could indeed have been a cup full of acid. And it would have been very, very different. I don't understand why people think they can do these things. Whether it's chucking milkshakes over to a politician or walking into someone's private dinner. This was not a public event. Private dinner and going around and doing whatever they whether it's for the good of the world or not. I think it was absolutely right to push that person out. Absolutely. Let's see what you're saying there. Paul says it has to be reasonable force. Well, what's reasonable force? What's reasonable force, Paul? You know, if someone's got they're doing something, you don't know what's in that bag. You've got to get them out as quickly as possible. Absolutely. Timmy says they stormed the building, so they have to accept the consequences. Thank you, Tim. I think so. That's absolutely what I think, Tim. Absolutely. But they'll be in all the papers this morning, oh, he needs to be sacked. He shouldn't treat people like that. Well, they shouldn't bloody be there. They weren't invited in. Adrian, she could have been carrying a big razor, but she is quite dangerous. She did not stop easily, so what do you expect? He didn't hit the pastor into war or anything like that. No, he didn't hit her. He didn't hit her. He pushed her out forcibly. So what do you expect? He didn't hit her into war or anything like that. It looked like Theresa May was trying to gate crash the party, to be honest. Do you think she tried to go in there in disguise? Oh dear. You see, John, it could have been acid. It could have been. She could have had acid in the bag, anything. There we are. And Paul says, I don't think men should get so physical with a woman. Some women could be pregnant. Well, she shouldn't be there then, Paul. She shouldn't bloody well be there then. If you're pregnant and you go out and start mucking around with stuff like that, you must understand that you might accidentally get hurt. No. He was absolutely right to do that. Roy says, I can't see all the people's comments. That's because you're on YouTube, Roy. You only see the comments on the platform that you are watching on, my friend, okay? You're on YouTube, you'll see all the YouTube comments. The people on Facebook will see all the Facebook comments, but they won't see the YouTube. The people on Facebook can't see your comments. They only know your comments because I'm like reading them out, you see. So it depends what platform you're on. They're the comments you get. I, fortunately, get them all come into one little thing because I've got a program that comes in with the broadcast stuff, all right? Adrian, do you think we should storm Valerie pastry shops out of Petite Valerie shops out of protest when they use margarine in their products? Yes! Can we have the butter, please? It should be butter. Will you join with me in this protest? We might taste a few cakes at the same time. Oh, no, I can't. I can't go in there and steal, dear. I'm not one of them people that steal, I'm afraid, dear. I mean, you may well go in with an empty bag into your various supermarkets and fill it up and walk out without paying. I don't know about that, Adrian. All right. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the bloke, on the minister who pushed that person out there who shouldn't have been there in the first place. Mike, bloody millennials again. They should remember your actions have consequences. Well, yes. People are walking around. They think they can do anything they want. This is the problem now. This is the problem with the world. Not with the world. With this country. And America to an extent, I think. Absolutely. People think they can just do whatever they want to be. And no, you damn well can't. You know, I've got rules and regulations. Facebook's got lots of rules and regulations. Now, get this, and I don't know why this is, okay? At the moment, I can't post. I got a message upside you're not allowed to post to Facebook groups until, I think it was like 5:05 tomorrow morning, as you broke our guidelines. Now, I don't know. This is the problem with the tech companies. There's no one ever to speak to. They have the rules, and that's it. So you can appeal, but I don't think anyone ever reads the appeals. And it basically said, you know, you've broken the rules on Facebook guidelines. You are blocked from posting to Facebook groups until, and it's something like 5:05 tomorrow morning or something like that. So I'm thinking, well, what have I done? And I'm going to tell you the groups that I post to now, okay? While I'm doing the show, okay, you know when that, right at the beginning, the flag comes on and then we run the opening video. While that's on, I do various things here, which I can't do before that's running. One of the things is to share the show to various Facebook groups. Now, the Facebook groups I share to are, and there's lots of these, Facebook Live groups, okay? So we're on Facebook Live, and I'm sharing it to Facebook Live groups, yeah? And also English groups where people are trying to learn English. And my own opinion about learning English is that you can't learn a language properly from watching one sort of English. Now, a lot of these people, I have no doubt, will watch the BBC, and that is a sort of English. Okay? Okay? There is also street English from young people who talk in the street, which even I don't understand. There's, of course, Shakespeare in English, which we talked about. And there's all sorts of English. So the way I talk and the way I am is just one small part of the whole English thing. So I think it's quite okay to post on the Learn English groups. And there's another lot of groups I go on. Oh, I can't remember what they are now. So Facebook Live. What's the other ones now? Oh, and there's a talk radio one. So basically, they're the groups I go on. So I don't see what rule I've broken. Do you see what I mean? But There is no way of saying, well, can you tell me what rule I've broken? And they say, please refer to the rules and regular. Well, you just, and that's the problem with tech companies. There's never anyone to talk to, and it's most annoying. So you'll probably notice that the numbers are, not that it matters anyway, but if you're one of those people that are desperate to know numbers and things, you'll notice they've been a little bit low recently, and that's why we can't share to the various Facebook groups. Similarly, I can't share any of my posts to groups at the moment, including the karaoke group, so I can't advertise the karaoke night tonight either. You don't know, the other thing is, you don't know what post it is that someone has said they're not happy with. Could it be the karaoke thing? Could it be the Facebook? Or could it be the chat shows? I don't know. No one tells you that. You just get this silly little message that doesn't really mean anything to anyone. So that's the reason for that, okay? LaBelle has been blocked as well. I don't understand it either. What, from group sharing, LaBelle? Is that from groups? Is that from groups? It's so annoying. But the most annoying thing is that you have no comeback. From Facebook's point of view, I suppose really we're going back to this entering your house type thing. Facebook is not my house. It's Facebook's house. And if they don't want someone in there, they just close the door. It's as simple as that, isn't it? So you have no comeback at all. You have no rights or anything like that. They decide the rules and that's it. You know. Adrian, who is talking about stealing? I thought you'd treat me. How very rude. I'm offended. Good, I'm glad you're offended. It's probably you reporting me, is it? Is it you reporting me? You know, what are they reporting it for? Don't know. Again, that's going back to the whole thing, you know, where everyone seems to think they should do something about something. Instead of just walking away. Years ago, if you didn't like something on the telly, you just turned it over or turned it off, whatever. Now, people think they need to write a post on Twitter or on Facebook and all that business. How uninteresting. Adrian, who is talking about stealing? I am offended. I would get my... Oh, just a moment. I would have to get my American Express card out to pay, or I might leave an IOU, and that's not classified as stealing. Oh, come on, Adrian. You haven't got an American Express card? Only special people have those. You probably got a Visa or a MasterCard. I can't see you person having an American Express, dear. Stuart, just going back to your daylight comment, looks like you actually get about 20 minutes more daylight. It probably seems, in Lincolnshire, it probably seems like more, as you probably see so much more of the horizon at your caravan home. Bracknell sunrise today, 4:46, sunset at 21:23. Lincoln, sunrise at 4:04, sunset at 21:03. 21:03? You've got a... I think that might have come out wrong on the message thing. Hang on, maybe it's there. Maybe it's here. 21:33. Yeah, so you do get about 20 minutes more daytime. I mean, I don't think I'd notice 10 minutes at the end of the day, but perhaps actually, again, with the caravan, I do see there's nothing in front of me, just field, so it may well be that. I see what you're saying there. I do see what you're saying. LaBelle belongs to social groups where you're supposed to post your social events, but I'm blocked from doing the very thing we're allowed to post. I wonder if it's a fault then. Because Facebook seems to have been having a few faults recently, doesn't it? And I was just going to mention that to you. Facebook down. Now, some of you have been complaining. I noticed that you can't see pictures on Facebook. At the moment, it seems to be working. But we've had this intermittently over the last few days. Well, I found an article in the Daily Mirror this morning, and it's not what you think. It's not what you think. It's Virgin Media customers, because not everyone have been having this problem. All right? Daily Mirror. Facebook appears to be suffering technical issues, with thousands of UK users in the UK complaining that pictures aren't loading properly on the social network. But the problem seems to be only affecting Virgin Media customers. Now, here in Bracknell, I'm a Virgin Media customer. Up north, I'm a Mobile 3 customer. So it's down here, and I have noticed this. Pictures haven't been loading. They're all right at the moment. It seems to be affecting only Virgin Media customers attempting to access the site over their Wi-Fi networks. Yes. So is this working now? Let's have a quick look. Where's Maureen this morning? Is Maureen not here this morning? I'm no texting from Maureen. I do worry when she don't text in to see if she's all right or not. 1 minute, let's see if it's working now. It wasn't working again last night. While I was sitting there watching the telly last night. Let's see, is that working? It's working now. Yeah, that's working now. Does seem to be working now, but it certainly wasn't last night. The site's been having issues since yesterday morning. Only Facebook users in the UK are affected, with 39% of those reporting problems with pictures loading and 41% reporting a total blackout. But it's Virgin Media. And it says Virgin Media has acknowledged the problem on its service status page and via its official Twitter account. So there you are. It was people on Virgin Media. So if you're on Virgin Media and you're having a problem with Facebook yesterday, that's what it was. Let's have a look. Shall we just see if let's see if there's any note on there now. See if it's got a problem there. I'm checking the service status for Virgin Media customers. Enter your postcode to run a quick test, okay? No known issues. No, it's all working now. So it should all be working now. So there we are. It wasn't Facebook after all. It was something to do with Virgin Media, apparently. All right. John used to have a gold Amex card. When I had... Oh, did they take it back? When I had money, did they take it back? Oh, that's a bitter pill to swallow. When you've had it all and lost it all. I haven't got a gold one though. I've just got a normal American Express. I got my American Express card because they were doing this. It was 2 years ago, and they were doing this thing where they were offering 5% back for the first 3 months. So if you bought something for 10 quid, you'd get 50 pence back. So if every time you spent 100 quid, you get a fiver back, which wasn't bad. So I bought, at that period of time, I bought everything that I wanted to buy. New bed, this, that and the other. And I got a good little stack of money back. That's money for doing nothing, you see. Now, I think it's about 0.5%. So obviously nowhere near the 5%. But it was a good way of making a little bit of money for doing nothing. 5% they were giving back. But unfortunately, John hasn't got his anymore. They've reclaimed it. What was it? Was it a phone call, John? Was it a phone call? Oh, hello, John. Yeah, I'm sorry to trouble you. It's American Express here. We notice you haven't got any money anymore. Please, could you send your card back? Thank you very much. Put the phone down. Poor old John. Never mind, John. That's the way it is. Adrian says he has a bank with Coots. Oh, please. Please, you don't have no bank with Coots. Bring your checkbook in later and let's have a look at that. Coots Bank, please. That's for posh people, dear. You wouldn't be allowed in the door. Where is your bank, Adrian? Is it the Co-op? You seem like someone who would have a bank account with the Co-op or someone like that, would it? Morning to JP's probably got a bank account with Coots. I can see that. He's got stacks of money, haven't you, John? Morning, John. Welcome to the show. John says I paid it off. What is it? Was that weekly? Was it, John? Like your catalogue stuff? I mean, looking at your photos, you look like you're a catalogue shopper, are you, my love? Have you got the Freeman's catalogue? I could open a catalogue service here, couldn't I? You know, I could show various pictures of catalogues, and you could order stuff from me and pay weekly, like John does for his clothes, don't you? John says I had a diner's card, but they took it when I left the Middle East. Diner's card? Oh yeah, I remember the diner's card. I remember that. You don't really see that so much anymore, do you, the diner's card? Yeah, John says it took me around the world. I'm sure it did. Sure it did, my love. Yesterday, after I finished the show yesterday, I went down to Sainsbury's. It's not Sainsbury's. I keep saying that. I went down to Homebase to buy a pull switch for my caravan bathroom because that hasn't been working. You pull it, it doesn't come down anymore. You know when you pull a pull switch in the bathroom, it goes click. Well, it don't click. It just, there's nothing happening. So I needed a new one of those. So I went into Sainsbury's Homebase and I bought that at £4.99. Not dear, was it? And it's only 2 wires in there. It's basically, those of you that are technically minded, the pull switch in a caravan, you get a double pole or a single pole. And I've already looked, and it's a single pole that's in there. So it just, basically, it breaks the connection on the live wire. So I'll turn the electric off in the caravan. I thought, well, I'll just turn that light off. No, I'll just completely turn the electric off to the caravan. And I'll be able to do that probably on Tuesday after I've set up the refurbished computer, ready to do shows in there. So I've got that to do. While I was walking around Homebase, and I quite like it in there. I like Homebase and B&Q. I'm not so keen on Wix for some reason. I think the layout is slightly different in Wix, but I certainly like Homebase and B&Q. So I'm having a look around there. And they've got a very large area where they've got all these fans and air conditioning units. And they've got in there an air conditioning unit which is more powerful than the one that I have at the moment in the caravan. Now, you remember last year I bought this little air conditioning unit for the caravan. It's one of those portable ones, that you wheel around. Although I don't wheel it around. It's kind of fixed into position. It's not like fixed, but it's in position now. And my brother-in-law put a hole in the side of the caravan, so big. And it chucks all the hot air directly out of that hole. And it works to a point quite well in normal weather. Last year, when we had that extreme summer, it really was an extreme summer. It was working, but it couldn't cope. It couldn't quite cope with it. And I remember turning it on and, half an hour before, and I'd get into bed. I thought, it's not particularly cool in here. And I'd get into bed for my afternoon nap, and I'd wake up again, and I thought, it's not particularly cool in here. I looked over at the temperature, it's because a little temperature thing, and it's like 25 degrees. And I thought, well, it can't be working anyway. I've put my hand in front of it, and it is cold air coming out. I thought, well, why isn't this cooling it down? I said, it's obviously not working. And then I opened the bedroom door and this heat just hit me. My God, it was so hot. And I thought, well, it is working. It just can't cope with it. And that's I think it's a 9,000 BTU. That's kind of the, it's like saying, I don't know. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 5 wouldn't be too bad at cooling it down. 9 would be better. Yeah? Do you see what I mean? Well, they had another one out there, which was, I think, 12.5 or 10.5 BTU in Homebase. At 360 quid, though. I thought, I don't think so. I'll just put up with that one. So it does work, but I think it was so exceptional last year that the machine, even in a very small bedroom, was not coping at all. So I'm walking around there, and there's stacks of these things in there. And it quite amused me. And I went to the girl on the till, went to pay for my thing. And I said, I see the air conditioning units aren't moving this year. She said, no, we haven't sold one. She said, we got a load of them in because they were walking out the door last year. I had real trouble finding one. I had to go in several shops before I found the one I bought. They were just flying out the door. She said last year they were flying out the door, these air conditioners. As they were coming in, they were going out again. This year we haven't shifted one. All the fans, stacks and stacks of fans and everything. No one's buying them because it's just it's not been warm enough. I bet they go at the weekend. So these £360 air conditioning units, if you can put up with it for this year, then come the autumn, they tend to put them on sale. So you might get that 360 quid one for like 200 quid. Which would be which probably, if it's a bigger unit, to me that would probably be a bit more acceptable, but not 360. It seems an awful lot of money to do that. Hey, John Banks in Jersey. I knew he had some sort of posh bank or something like that. Old JP, didn't you, mate? Good luck to you. Work for that money, mate. You've worked for that money. I've no problem of rich people who have worked through life to get where they've got to. I have a problem with people with a silver spoon in their mouth when they're a little boy or girl. That I do have a bit of a problem with that, or bankers who are in there and have come out of university and are immediately on £200,000 a year. I have a bit of a problem with that. If it's a bloke or a woman who's worked all through the years and saved a bit here and then they've got a bit of money, then I get very upset when the government, whichever government it is, starts taking money away from them, whether it be the pensions and things like that. Who was it who raided the pensions? Was that Gordon Brown? Was that Gordon Brown or was that Theresa? No, it wasn't Theresa, was it? Who was before It was Gordon Brown, wasn't it? Wasn't it Gordon? No. David Cameron. Was it him who raided the pensions? I can't remember now. One or the other. Well, I think it's a terrible thing, that. John says, how very dare you? I've never had a catalogue. Well, you wouldn't have thought so from the pictures that you're on, John. I've looked at some of the photos of you, dear. I've seen those clothes you wear in various catalogues. Littlewoods, Freeman's, all those. There's no problem. There's no shame in buying stuff from catalogues, John. Especially, now as you haven't got your American Express card to buy things. That's okay. You cut your cloth to how you are. That's it. Like myself. Poor. Look at this. 20 quid this was from Amazon. It was Gordon Brown who taxed the pensions. Thank you, Adrian. I couldn't remember that. John, you've got more than me, dear. I did a credit check on you. Credit check on me, dear. John, are you talking about the Dyson air conditioning machine? Andy Weston has one and he loves it. Yeah, I'm sure he has with all that cash he's got. Blimey. Dyson air conditioning. Do you mean the fan that's like that? That fan. They're like 400 quid for a fan. I don't think so, mate. Not paying that. I don't have any Dyson stuff. It's good stuff. There's nothing wrong with the Dyson stuff. But I'm certainly not paying 499 quid for a bleeding Hoover. Blimey. John shopped at Burton's in the 80s. I can see that, dear, from the pictures. You ain't got to tell me that. As well as the catalogues. So that was it. And after I went to home base, I had a little chuckle with the lady on the till of the fact that the air conditioning units aren't shifting this year. I then went up to the swimming pool. I was the only one in there. No one in the swimming pool at all. And that weird. I don't know where everyone was. I was the only one in there. I did 30 lengths, and then a couple of people started coming in there. And by the time I got to 60, there was about 4 of us in there. Excuse me, I'm a hiccup here. And then I went down to Aldi to get some lunch. My mate was supposed to be coming over. Went down to Aldi, and I wanted some of their vegan burgers. Now, these are new things in Aldi, and I think it was Mike who's with us on the show this morning. It was Mike who advised me that they had now vegan burgers at Aldi. And I had a couple the other day. I don't dislike them, but they're not Linda McCartney ones. Do you know what I mean? But I thought I'll buy another couple. And they're big. The vegan burgers, and they're not particularly, they're £2, which I thought for an Aldi product was quite expensive. But nevertheless, they were big. That they're very thick. These Aldi vegan burgers. So I went in there and I got another couple of bits and pieces, some blueberries I think I brought in there. Got round to the freezer, gone. All gone. People are going mad for this vegan stuff at the moment. They are. All the places are doing it. You've now got some Kentucky Fried Chickens doing a vegan chicken burger. And people who are awkward say, oh, well, how can it be a chicken burger if it's a vegan one and there's no chicken in it? Well, it's just what it's called, isn't it? It's just what it's called. It's always sort of people wanting to be awkward all the time. My sister's one. Oh, how is it a chicken burger if there's no chicken in it? It was a vegan chicken burger. It tastes of chicken, dear. That's it. So none in there at all. And it was a big freezer. It's like quite deep. All gone. They must have flown out the doors, these vegan burgers. Anyway, so I've gone to the till with my bits and pieces, and there's a woman behind me, and she's got a few very large plastic plant pots. And I said, oh, where did you find those? She said, oh, they got them over there. They're reduced from $3.99 to $2.99. I thought, they're due me for the caravan. And I said, now, are you sure they're over there, or have you just cleared them out and you're telling me I'm over there so I'm going to look stupid when I get over there? And she laughed. She said, no, there's a few left. There's not many left, though. And I said, well, I'll have to come back later because I'm on my push bike at the moment. So I paid for my goods and I left, and that was fine. And I came back home. No vegan burgers, so I had for lunch baked beans on 2 bits of pita bread. Do you think pita bread is any better than normal bread? Or is it exactly the same? Is it exactly the same for weight gaining problems? Pita bread, is that any better? You just assume it's not as bad because it's so thin, don't you? Like myself, thin. Like you, thin. We're all thin. We're all thin. So I had my beans, and then my mate had a couple of hospital appointments yesterday. He came round, made him a cup of tea, and then he took us to Aldi in his little... he's got like a hybrid Mini, which is a nice little car, actually. It's quite comfortable. Took me round there, and we went in there, and sure enough, the pots are still there. So I bought 1, 2, 3, 4. I bought 6 pots, $2.99 each. And they're quite big square things they are. So I'll be taking those up to the caravan with me. As you know, I'm creating a pot garden. to the side of my caravan because I like doing all that sort of stuff. I've been making my own cuttings from various plants here. Bad news on the geranium cuttings, I'm afraid. They look like they've failed. Yeah, so obviously that you do. It depends on the sort of type of plant that you do cuttings with. You see, with geraniums, with those particular type of geranium, they're the like everlasting geraniums, so they keep the leaves all year round. With those before, what I've done with those is as they've got bigger, I've literally tipped up the plot and split them into quarters and then replanted them like that with a spade. You know, you just cut them down and put them in pots. But with these ones here, what I thought I'd do was cut off a few leaves and put them in soil, as I've done with other plants, which have been perfectly all right. The hydrangeas work very well like that, and some other stuff, but not the geraniums. They flopped like that. And you know how it is, girls. Once they've gone limp, you can't do anything with them at all. Send in another one, please. That's how it is. All right? So that's what I did yesterday. Nice little day. I'm very pleased to tell you my accountant has written to me now. All my accounts are complete. He enclosed his very large invoice, as he always does. So I've paid him off. And the money that I've saved for the tax bill this coming July or is it this? I don't know. I can't remember now. It's on my diary. I always must write things down here. Let me see. Yes, July the 31st. The money that I'd saved for there, I don't need all of it. It's the tax bill has come down a bit, actually quite a bit. The tax bill has come. That's why you need an accountant. If you're self-employed, get an accountant, right? Because they know everything that you can take off. You don't know. You know, you can possibly guess, but if you get it wrong, then the tax people come down on you like a ton of bricks. That's why you need an accountant. You send him all the stuff, and then and he said, you need to send them this. And it's quite a lot lower than I thought. So I'm really pleased. I've got a little bit of money left in the bank, on which I've bought the computer, the new computer, the refurbished computer, and also a small piano for the caravan, because I haven't got one up there. So that's good, isn't it? That's good. See, it's worth having that accountant. It really is. Much less. And even actually, he gives you next January's bill and next July's bill, and they're all lower than I thought they'd be. So I'm very, very pleased about that. Let's just, where are we now? Vegan restaurant, 222 North End Road, has got good reviews. I passed it the other night when I was in Fulham. Yes, probably a little bit out. Well, we might take a little trip there, actually. My mate would go in there. There's a couple of, thank you, Paul. There's a couple of vegan restaurants about, isn't there? And vegetarian restaurants and things like that. But Fulham is a little bit out of my way, to be honest, Fulham. That's where I went to school, in Fulham. Just round the back of Farm Lane, London Oratory School, down the bottom of Seagrave Road. It is London Oratory School. That's where I went to. It's a good school it was. We had a lovely headmaster, Mr. McIntosh. Nice bloke he was. John likes a cheese and tomato pitter pocket. Pitter pocket. You've got a pitter pocket or two. You've got a pitter pocket or two. LaBelle, pita bread is worse than regular bread. Oh, is it really? Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing then. It also depends on how you're made. Well, I think I'm a bit fat, to be honest. I'm a bit fat. John says vegan food is fart food. There's something wrong with your stomach, I reckon. JP says, I think all the straight guys leave when they see you arrive in your Speedos. What, the swimming pool? Quite possibly. Let's have a look. Weird City, morning. Weird City citizen, very late this morning. Morning to you, sir. All right there. In the 80s, I applied for an Amex card. I think those, JP, in those days, you needed to earn a lot. Yeah, you did. I'm sure you're right there. You don't need it now, to be honest. You don't need it now. I had nothing. I lied from start to finish on the application, and 2 weeks later, I received the card. Nice one. Cheerio, Roy. Have a nice day. There was a vegan restaurant, Adrian, in Old Compton Street, opposite Compton's. I don't go to Soho. Never liked Soho, Adrian. Walking up and down that road and everyone judging you. No, thank you, not for me. Not keen on that. Hello to Joe Rayner. Morning, sir, who is in Austin, Texas. Welcome to our little show, sir. All right. welcome to the show. I tried to watch again last night an episode of Chernobyl and Pose on. You remember that site I told you? Putlocker. Can't find it now. It's gone. I don't know what's gone wrong with that. What I was doing is I've got a web browser on my LG television, but it's very, very clunky. You have to muck around with this remote control and up with the arrow and down with the arrow, and it's a nightmare. I had it working. I've had it working a couple of times, but last night it just wouldn't work because we can't see Pose here Series 2 at all. It's not available anywhere on any platform. You can't pay for it at all. It's just not here. So the only way to watch it is on the internet. And I've been watching stuff on the Putlocker. That's not working now for some reason. So very, very disappointed. JP says, I liked Amex so much that I bought it. Shocking. All right, couple of stories here and then we'll disappear. Love Island. Anyone watch that? No, me neither. I don't watch Love Island. I'm not into television that just results in everyone shagging each other and everyone rowing and screaming and fighting. Doesn't do it for me unless there's a story or a good comedy like Keeping Up Appearances. I know it's a bit old now. Or if you want to go even older, Dad's Army. Are You Being Served? What's the Indian War thing? It Ain't Half Hot Mum. All very amusing programmes. Documentaries I like, wildlife things. Love Island, reality television show, Big Brother. Nope, doesn't do it for me. So I don't know who the people are. But this story I saw in The Sun this morning, and it says, Love Island stars have been forced to run away from a plague of flying cockroaches. The pests are causing quite the scene in the villa, which I don't know what the villa is. Is that where they all stay? Is it just like a big house, is it, I suppose, in the villa? Leaving many of the female islanders screaming in fear. Why the females? Probably the blokes as well. They look like they're all millennials, aren't they? They'd be scared of everything, dear. Offended by flying cockroaches. Revealing the horror, someone told Elma Pazar, told the Daily Star... Is she someone who's in it? I don't know. The flying cockroaches are a nightmare. They fly around when we are trying to relax. Some of the girls are screaming every time they come near. Well, I would be one of those people screaming, dear. They're horrible things, aren't they? Cockroaches. Flying cockroaches, even worse. It's bad enough when you see one crawling along. Awful. Cockroaches are very common in warmer climates, but in previous years, they haven't been such an issue in the villa. They keep out going on about the villa. Presumably that is where they all stay. Is it some sort of big villa or house? And then it goes on about other stuff. What's this? It's not the only thing that's going on behind the scenes that we haven't witnessed. Elma also revealed islanders are... Oh, no, I don't want to read. It's in The Sun this morning. All I will say is that involves touching themselves and not anyone else. That's all I say. But yeah, flying cockroaches, not the most pleasant of species, are they? When I was about 19 or 20, I was in a pub called the Highwayman in Roehampton, which is where I met my my wife at the time. And I was at the bar buying a drink, and everyone's, oh, look, and there was this cockroach. No, I don't think it was a stag beetle. It was a stag beetle flying around the centre light. And I'm like, you know, I was a bit laddie at the time, I'm like, oh, what are they all moaning about? Look at them all moaning, all worried about a silly little flying beetle. And I took no notice on it, and it flew into my hair, dear. While I had my back to it. It must have waited until I had my back to it. Flew into my hair, and I'm like, oh my God. Frightening. We don't like flying insects, thank you very much. Giant hornets on the way here as well. They're in Jersey or somewhere like that at the moment. They're on the way here. Giant flying hornets, dear. Frightening. Mike says, if you get invited to a barbecue, do you end up taking your own veggie burgers as you know then what you're going to eat? I'm going to one on Saturday. I'm going to take 2 of the Aldi vegan burgers. I don't go to barbecues. I'm never invited to these places, really. I have been in the past, but you see, the trouble is I sleep for 2 hours in the afternoon. You know, and unless you've got an early barbecue, I won't turn up anyway. But, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking your own stuff to a barbecue. Are you... some people are very strict vegan or vegetarian strict. Now, I'm not vegan and vegetarian strict. I will purposely go out of my way to avoid anything that looks like a dead animal or anything that I know might have a dead animal in it. But it wouldn't bother me, for example, if a veggie burger or a vegan burger had been cooked on the same cooker or plate or hot plate or perhaps pan as a normal burger or a bit of dead animal. That wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't be going, oh, well, I can't eat that. No, I mean, someone, you see, you have to remember their feelings as well. Just because they're meat eaters, you know, or I call them dead animal eaters. Just because they're dead animal eaters, you know, they have feelings as well. So, you know, they may go to the whole effort, unbeknowing, of cooking your veggie burger on the same hot plate as their dead animal burger. You see what I mean? And then they would give it to you, and I would happily sit there and eat it. I'm not one of those vegans and vegetarians. Oh my God, oh, you've cooked it on the... Oh, I feel sick now, I'm going to be ill. No, you're just being bloody minded by doing that. No. So that wouldn't bother me. But what about you, Mike? Would that bother you? No, he says, I don't mind if they're cooked on the same barbecue as other meat. No, that doesn't bother me as well. You know, I've been round... I've had a dinner before around a couple of people's houses, and, you know... there you go, Chris. We've done you a lovely nut roast and all that, or whatever. You know, we've done your... Oh! And I'm like, what? Oh, the gravy. I've put the other gravy on it, the beef gravy. And I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. That's fine. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Are you sure I can do some more? No, I appreciate what you've done, and I'll sit there and eat that. You know, you have to... What about the people's feelings who've done this before? These bloody people shouting up and screaming, I want it done like this, I want it done like that. No thought of the other person. Me, all the blooming time, innit? LaBelle, wait, you were married to a woman? Yes, I was. I'm sorry for her sake. I think so was she. Yes, a long time ago. I was 21 at the time. 21 at the time, yes. It was a huge mistake, but there you go. It's one of those things. You live and learn, don't you? Good. Okay, I think that's it. We're done now, aren't we, boys and girls? Yeah, there we are. I'm going to do today's birthdays, okay? It's time for birthdays here on the... Oh, what's this? Paul sent something through. Let me have a look at that, Paul. Paul sent something through about vegan... 222 vegan cuisine. Now, where's that? Has it got the address there? Hang on, what's the phone number? 7381. I know that's Fulham. I used to work for telephones. I was a telephone engineer, so I kind of know the London codes off by heart. So that's it there. Oh, it does look quite nice, doesn't it? Vegetarian restaurant in Fulham. Shall I have a look at the menu? Oh, you've got start mains. Let's just go to the mains. Oh, they've got some lovely looking stuff there. Oyster, mushroom and spinach raclette. 222 fresh. But I'm going to go here. I tell you what, I'm going to go here. I wonder if it's open Sundays. When's it open? Is it open Sundays? Or would it be open Sunday night? I'm just going to... Can I just send my mate an email? Let's just send my mate an email, then I know I've done it. Otherwise, what happens with a lot of websites? Like, oh, I'll do that later, and then I forget to do it. Want to go here. Just a second. Get that there. There we are. And sending. There we are. Done. So I'll go there. Thank you very much, Paul, for that. Much appreciated. We may well go there. That does look very, very nice indeed. Good. Here we go then. It's today's birthdays, boys and girls. Happy birthday on this Friday, the 21st of June, 2019 to my very, very good friend, Ray Belasco, who is today 52 years old today. He was a Black Cap customer. That's somewhere while I was DJing and doing the karaoke for like 18 years, which is now 10 years ago since I left there. I can't believe how that time's up. It was a wonderful place to work. It really was. And LaBelle, it was like the main drag place in London. And I was very privileged to work with some wonderful people there, some of who are still doing it, some who gave it up, some who are no longer with us. A fantastic place. Really was nice to work there. And Ray was one of the customers. And he often came along and he'd be dancing on the stage to Tragedy by Steps and things like that. So thank you very much. All right, my darling. No, don't worry about that, LaBelle. Please, please, anything you can, whenever you want to say something, just say it, darling. I'm not someone who worries about anything like that, my darling. Thank you so much for saying that. I really want to come to New York at the moment. I do. I want to. There's a couple of things I want. I want to go to St. Patrick's Cathedral for a Sunday sung mass. I want to do that. And actually, I've been looking on YouTube at various different, and there's a lot of places in America where they've got really big churches and great big instrument organs there in the background. There was one in Washington, D.C. and places like that. I'm thinking I might do a little bit of a tour where I go around to different places in the world and visit these churches and experience one of the masses and places like that. I think I'd like to do that. Yeah, I've done it. I've been to Israel. Oh, wow, it's amazing, Israel. Anyway, let me do the birthdays. Tony Lowe. Good morning, Tony. He sometimes turns up at the karaoke. Good morning, Tony. Happy birthday to you. Stuart Deacon. Good morning, Stuart. Happy birthday, Stuart. David Bloomfield. Oh, look at that lovely little dog. Happy birthday, David. And Peter Bracco. They're all birthdays today, boys and girls. Happy birthday to you all. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to boys and girls. All right. John. Good morning, John. John McGinley, who's loving the jacket. Good morning, John. I hope you're recovered. I saw you had a little bit of trouble a few weeks ago now. It is. I know it's been a few weeks ago, but I hope you recovered from that, my darling. All right. How's your mate Ron? He's not doing too bad, John. He had 2 hospital appointments yesterday. He's got a lot of bits and pieces going wrong at the moment, unfortunately, Ron, but it's one of those things, isn't it? LaBelle says some of our churches here in America are quite stunning in their design. Yes, they are. I went to one, it was more like a shrine in Vegas. Let me tell you what it was, if you ever want to look it up. You see, I say this to people, like I do the whole Catholic thing and I go to church on a Sunday. You don't have to be a religious person to appreciate the interior and the exterior of some of these churches. They are just amazing. And if you go on YouTube and type in various hymns, you see, and people have, like myself, I've got my own little channel where I play the organ and I do some hymns and all that on the YouTube. You type in various hymns to see different versions. Now, I like, when I hear a hymn, I like a big noise. Not like 2 people playing a guitar or a couple of people playing flutes or violins. I like, either sort of a mini orchestra or a very loud organ. That's how I play it. I play it quite loud. People at church have said when it's my turn to play, and I'm not playing. We're down to 1 a month now because there's so many organists at the church. And I'm not playing now until August, rather disappointingly, because my July one, I had to take that out because I'm actually away that weekend. So I'm not playing. But when I play loud, okay? Loud and at a reasonable pace. And I'm very pleased that a couple of people have come up to me and said I make it sound like a cathedral in there. You don't have to be a religious person to appreciate the things. But there was one in Vegas. You have a look it up once I've finished. Have I done the birthdays? I'm losing my mind. I can't remember what I've done there. Yeah, I've done those. Vegas. It's in Vegas. Vegas Shrine, if you want to look at it. Let's see. There it is. And this place was just being done up. And it was stunning. Absolutely stunning. I'm going to post the link there. Let me see if I can see a decent photo of it. Gallery. Come on. Where's the gallery? There's no gallery. Why is there no gallery on that? Location, maybe? Location. No, that's a map. Mass schedule. There's no pictures. I mean, how mad is that? Maybe pictures. Let's have a look. I've typed in that. Let's see. Images. Oh, yeah, some good images there. Right, let's just post one there. Is there a decent one of inside? See, the thing is that that would probably. Let's see for you. Oh, that's a bit basic, that one, but yeah, it's just come up as a search thing. How do I post that then? Visit. Okay, visit. Let's try that. Visit. Well, you can have a look there. Oh yeah, that's sort of reasonable. Hang on a minute. Let's just copy and paste it. Sorry, gang, you'll only get this on the YouTube, on the Facebook messages. There you go. There's a little thing for you to have a look at there, and you can have a look at the pictures. It was just a beautiful place, and I went to mass there on the Sunday. I had the organ playing, and it was apparently they'd been collecting for a brand new organ. Not that one was old, but a pipe one, you know, a proper one with pipes and all that. And it was just about to be installed. Unfortunately, I left before it was installed. But Vegas, that's a great place to visit. And if you ever go to Vegas, go to Old Town Vegas, to Fremont Street on a Saturday night. Wow, that is just an amazing place. All these characters wandering around. LaBelle, my favourite ones are small chapels which are just beautiful. Yeah, and people get married in those, don't they? The little chapels. John says, I'm not religious, but I went to a lot of the mosques in Istanbul and they were stunning. Yes, I'd like to go to a mosque. I haven't been inside a mosque yet. I've been inside the Jewish one. Oh, God. The Jewish synagogue. I've been inside a synagogue in Israel and actually in London, and they're very plain. They're just basically desks and books, and you've got the Torah, which is usually in a cabinet. I've been to one of those. They're quite plain. There's no like gold and all this stuff hanging down. And you've been in Catholic churches, some which are very basic, and some which are ornate and lots of gold and all that everywhere. Morning to Tenable. Oh, I can't bear that program, Mark. Good morning, Mark. Topsy Redphones on Tenable. One of the most bland quiz shows of all time. It's so boring. Have you watched Tenable? It's such a boring program. LaBelle used to dance in Vegas. Did you really? We won one of those polls. Or were you in the... you weren't in the Divas show, were you? Well, when I took... No, it wasn't with my nephew. When I went with my mate to Vegas, that was about 6 or 7 years ago, we went to see the Divas show. Which was absolutely wonderful. It was really good. I can't remember the person who was like the main person of it, but I never forget, she came on the stage and she was hilarious, this drag queen. And she started off with, hello, welcome to so-and-so, it's lovely. Now, I just want to start by letting you know, if you want to take any photos here today, you can take photos. She says, I know you go up and down and seen the various shows in Vegas, and some places they've got signs up and they tell you, please don't take photos. I want you to take photos. Hundreds of them is possible. I haven't spent 2 hours putting on effing makeup on for you not to take photographs of me all night long. You take as many as you want. She was great. This drag queen show, and it was called Divas. Whether or not it's still on there, I don't remember if that's not on there. Okay. Good. Right, we're going to disappear now, boys and girls. Thanks ever so much for joining us on this Friday afternoon. Morning, Roy. Better late than never. Well, I'm afraid it's never, because I'm going now. All right. Usually, Frank Marino. Thank you, Frank Marino. Well, we met him. He actually sat outside afterwards, and you could, although he was as the drag queen. Can't remember the name of his drag name. What was his drag name? If you told me, I'd remember it straight away. But he was great. He was really very, very good indeed, and we really enjoyed the show. And highly recommended that, really. Highly recommended. Right, now, often on a Saturday, I just don't have the time to do a show because I have things to do on a Saturday, so we may or may not be here tomorrow morning. All right, boys and girls. And tonight, of course, I'm hosting karaoke. Are you in the North London area? Because that's where it is. Karaoke tonight at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. It's our Friday night regular karaoke. Starts at 8:30 and goes right the way through until 12 midnight. Come and sing us a song. You'll meet all our regular people who come and sing, and some wonderfully warm people in there. And if you're very lucky, Maureen will give you one of her chocolate biscuits as well, because Maureen brings in biscuits for everyone, don't you, darling? The show is still there. Joan Rivers, that's it. Of course it is. Of course it is. The show is still there. Divas in Vegas. I'd go to Vegas again. I do all the shows. I'm not so much into betting and gambling in machines, which of course is what it's set up for. But I do have a good time in Vegas. But as I say, I highly recommend anyone who goes to Vegas, get yourself a cab. You won't be able to walk there. It's too far. And go down to the old town and find yourself Fremont Street, which is the most wonderful, wonderful place in the world, I tell you. It really is. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening to the show today. I'll see you again very soon. Have a nice Friday. Bye-bye now.